Hi, my friends. So we just finished the Sermon on the Mount. It's like, 3 chapters worth of his sermon in Matthew. And now we're in chapter 8. So in this chapter, I believe that Jesus does confront homosexuality, okay? And so when he had come down from the mountain, the great multitudes followed him. And behold, there came a leper who worshipped him, saying, Lord, if thou wilt, canst thou make me clean? And Jesus put forth his hand and touched him, and saying, I will, be thou clean. And immediately his leprosy was cleansed. And remember, back then they didn't have doctors and clinics and hospitals and things like that they could go to. So he was mobbed by hordes of people that would come to him asking for healing all the time, all right? And so Jesus said unto him, see, that don't tell any man, just go your way, show yourself to the priest that you're clean so that you can go into the temple, and offer your gift to Moses, gift that Moses commanded for a testimony unto them. And when Jesus was entered into Capernaum, there came unto him a centurion, beseeching him. He was crying, basically, to him, and saying, Lord, my servant, who lieth at home sick of the palsy, grievously is tormented. Okay? Now, Jesus knows, God knows, who you are. And when this centurion came to him, he knew who the servant was too. He didn't say, well, you know what, okay. When this centurion is crying about a so-called servant, okay? This is not just any servant. This is not, he loved his servant, okay? His servant was P-A-I-S, who served him, sexually served him, okay? With me, he was a sex slave, okay? He had sexual relationships with him. You can't just pray away the gay, okay? It doesn't work like that. He didn't say to him, go and clean up your homosexuality, then I'll save him, or I will heal him. He didn't say anything of the kind, okay? The centurion beseeched him. He was crying, saying, Lord, my servant, who lieth at home sick of the palsy, grievously tormented. And Jesus said unto him, I will come and heal him. And he says, no. He says, look, I'm a centurion. I know that your word, if I say to my, soldiers, do this and that, they go do it. Otherwise, they'll lose their head. So I know that you are a man of God. And I know that if you say it, it will be done. And his faith alone is really the factor that healed this servant, okay? Not the fact that he was gay. Okay, all right? He didn't say, oh, you got to, stop doing what you're doing, then I'll heal him. No, he didn't say anything of the kind. Jesus said unto him, I'll come unto him. Centurion answered and said, Lord, I am not worthy that thou shalt come under my roof. Just speak the word only, and my servant shall be healed. Okay? For I am a man under authority, having soldiers under me, and I say to this man, go, and he goes, and another, come, and he comes, and to my servant, do this, and he do it. Okay? So when Jesus heard this, he marveled, and he said to them that followed, verily I say unto you, I have not found so great a faith, not in Israel. And I say unto you that many shall come from the east and west and sit down with Abraham and Isaac and Jacob in the kingdom of heaven. But the children of the kingdom shall be cast out into outer darkness. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Jesus said unto the centurion, Go thy way, as thou hast believed, so it shall be done unto thee. And his servant was healed in the same hour. And when Jesus came into Peter's house, he saw his wife's mother laid sick of fever, touched her hand with the fever, and it left her, and he arose ministering unto them. So, okay, and when the centurion had finally, had gotten home, he asked the servant, when was he healed? And the servant told him. So he knew that what Jesus had said, at the same hour, your servant will be healed. And he was. Okay, so, and when the evening was come, they brought unto him many that were possessed with devils. And he cast out the spirit with his word and healed all that were sick, that it may be fulfilled which was spoken by Elijah the prophet, saying unto himself, He took out our infirmities and bare our sickness. So this is where the healing, comes, okay? This is, he wanted, first of all, he fulfilled the messianic prophecies, okay, that Isaiah spoke about. And when Jesus saw great multitudes about him, he gave commandment to depart unto the other side. And a certain scribe came and said unto him, Master, I will follow thee wheresoever thou goest. And Jesus said unto him, The foxes have holes, the birds of the air have their nest, but the Son of Man hath not nowhere to lay his head. And another of his disciples said unto him, Lord, suffer me first to go and bury my father. And Jesus said unto him, Follow me, and let the dead bury their dead. And when he was entered into the ship, his disciples followed him. And behold, there arose the tempest in the sea, insomuch as the ship was covered with the waves, but he was asleep. Okay? And his disciples came to him and awoke him, saying, Lord, save us. We're perishing here, and you're just sleeping. And he said unto them, Why are you fearful, O ye of little faith? And then he arose and rebuked the winds and sea, and there was a great calm. And the men marveled, and saying, What manner of man is this, that even the winds and the sea obey him? They were astonished. Okay. And when he came to the other side of the country of Gergeneses, there met him two possessed with devils, coming out of tombs, exceedingly fierce, that no man might pass their way. They were out of their minds. Okay. And behold, they cried out, saying, What have we to do with thee, Jesus, Son of God? Okay. Thou come hither to torment us before our time, before they're cast into the lake of fire. Okay. Before the judgment day. Have you come is this the judgment? Are you come now to cast us into the hell, fire? Okay. What are you doing now? Why are you here now? They're confounded. And there was a good way off from them, a herd of many swine that were feeding. So the devils, there's many, probably a legion, okay, within these two men. So the devils besought him, saying, If thou cast us out, suffer us to go away into the herd of swine. And he said to them, Go. And they came out and went into the herd of swine. Behold, the whole herd of swine ran violently down a steep place into the sea and perished in the waters. And they that kept them fled and went their ways into the city and told everything and that had befallen to the possessed of the devils. And behold, the whole city came out to meet Jesus. And when they saw him, they besought him that he would depart out of their coast. Okay, chapter 9, Christ endureth the palsy, calls Matthew. Okay. And so Jesus is in Capernaum now. And he entered into a ship, passed over, came over into his own city, and behold, they brought him a sick man, he who had palsy, laying on a bed. And Jesus, seeing that his faith, and said to the sick of the palsy, Son, be of good cheer, thy sins have been forgiven thee. Behold, a certain of scribes within themselves, saying within themselves, this man is blasphemed, okay? And Jesus, knowing their thoughts, what they were thinking evil in their hearts. For whether it is easier to say, thy sins be forgiven thee, or say, arise and walk. What's easier, He's talking to them. But that ye may know that the Son of Man hath power on earth to forgive sins. Only the Son of Man. Then saith he to the sick of the palsy, arise, take up thy bed, and go into thy house. And he arose, departed to the house. And when the multitude saw it, they marveled and glorified God, which had given such power unto men. So just seeing that, because they knew this guy was lame for a long time, seeing that he was healed instantly and told to go and fold up his bed, which is working on the Sabbath, okay? And the Pharisees will use that, or try to use that against Jesus. So Jesus passed forth from hence, and he saw a man named Matthew sitting at the receipt of customs, and he said unto him, follow me. And he arose and followed him. So, okay? So he was like a IRS guy, okay? Nobody likes, and he stopped what he was doing, and he followed Jesus. And it came to pass, as Jesus sat at meat in the house, behold, many publicans and sinners came and sat down with him and his disciples. And when the Pharisees saw it, and they said unto the disciples, why are you eating, or letting your master eat with these publicans and these sinners? And when Jesus heard that, he said unto them that they that behold don't need a physician, but they that are sick do, okay? So, do you go to the doctor when you're not sick? No. And so, go ye, learn what that meaneth, and I will have mercy and not sacrifice, for I am not come to call the righteous, but the sinners to repentance. Then came to him the disciples of John, saying, why do we and the Pharisees fast oft, but the disciples fast not? And Jesus said unto them, canst the children of the bride chamber mourn as long as the bridegroom is with them? But the days will come when the bridegroom shall be taken from them, and they shall fast. No man putteth a piece of new cloth unto an old garment, for which it is put in to fill it, that taketh up from the garment, and the rent is made worse. So don't put the old with the, you don't put the new with the old, okay? You don't follow the old ways, okay, when you're doing something new. Neither do men put on new wine in old bottles, lest the bottles break, and the wine runneth out, and the bottles perish. But they put new wine into the new bottles, and both are preserved. And while he spoke these things unto them, behold, there came a certain ruler worshiping him, saying, my daughter is even now dead, as I speak, but come and lay thy hand on her, and she shall live. Jesus arose and followed him, and so did his disciples. And behold, a woman which was diseased with issue of blood 12 years came behind him and touched the hem of his garment. For she said within herself, if I can just touch his garment, I will be whole. And Jesus turned about. When he saw her, he said, daughter, be of good comfort. Thy faith has made thee whole. And the woman was made whole from that hour. And I'm going to stop right there at verse 22 and continue on the next video. I do hope that this is a blessing to you, and I hope that you have a great Friday. Okay, bye-bye.